Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's 6:15 a.m. Price of Bitcoin currently at 78.24, and I wanted to do a quick morning analysis so you guys could see what levels I'm watching and what we have set up for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Okay, so first things first. All right, folks, if you remember my video yesterday, I stated that I think around this time is when I did my video. Okay, and I stated that this is ideally where you want to start seeing a rejection in price. Okay, why? Because price had already taken out these mini highs right here as per this little movement right here. So a bunch of stops got hit for short positions as price moved up a little bit, but again, it was not able to definitively close above this area, right? And I stated to my community members yesterday that a clean smash above this level right here, 81.85, would indicate more upside. And that more upside would be around this box right here. Okay, if you look at this red box, that'd be around 82.17 to about 82.86. Okay, why that red box is because that was the previous SR level from way back here in January, resistance, support right here in later January right there. And then now we're basically going to try to come back to it again as resistance and then try selling off. Okay. And again, as I stated before, it's not necessary that we have to hit that area, but more often than not, you'll see price trying to test key levels as SR flips to then either continue down or break that level and smash it into the other direction. Okay, so for example, if price was supposed to be really bullish, it would come here, flag, break through it, test that support, and then take off. Okay, but obviously that's not happening. All it's really doing is it went up like this, and then now it's starting to come back down again. Okay, what we want to see right now from price is a few things. Okay, so again, if you didn't watch my video yesterday, go watch it because I stated that this was ideally a good short if you place your stop somewhere up here around $81.95, $8,200. Okay, so you would have caught a nice almost, what is that, $200-300 move down. Okay, now alternatively, if you're looking for long positions, if you're looking at this as potential, I don't know, Wyckoff accumulation, this could be, I guess we could be working on a spring right here. This is the low that we'd have to take out. So what we're basically looking for is, stop out these people in terms of long liquidity, get some late shorters trapped down here, and then push back up. Okay. So if price was to do that, in a similar manner, like it just showed, it would ideally want to take out this low. Okay, so where is that low exactly? All right, so let's do this here. So that low is around 7630.5. Okay, price, what it needs to do, all right, it needs to come down into this level right here, smash through it, and then pop back up quickly. Okay, if it kind of just comes down here and then it sits, then we're expecting more downside. All right, that's, pretty obvious that if you don't take out the liquidity and then sharply bounce, that means there's something wrong. That means there's way too much supply, way too many sellers coming, and there's just not enough buyers left here. Okay, so that would be an ideal case for a potential long position. Alternatively, if you want to short, you could do your short a couple of ways. Okay, so you could short, anywhere in this region right here. Your stop could be, say this stop right here. It could be right here, or if you really want a deeper swing short stop, it could be up here. Okay, that's a couple different ways you can play your short position. All right. Now, as for key levels, right? This one right here, okay, 78.75 and then 79.60. Price has already come down below it. Okay, so I expect price to go down further. I mean, not that price has to kind of keep going down, but the higher probability is that it will probably keep going down. Okay, because it's already broken through one key level right there, second key level right there, and it's already under it. Okay, so I expect more downside ahead. So what I'm expecting is maybe slight push up like this, and then start coming down, breaking down through the rest of the day, maybe even later today or tomorrow, start sweeping that low around 76.30. Okay. Now, if you are expecting upside, right? I mean, you can make the argument that, well, what if, this was kind of a trend line and then we kind of bounced off it like this. So like something like that. Let me pull this up a little bit better. Okay. So what if, one could make the argument that what if this was a trend line, right? We swept through it just a little bit and then pop back up. Okay. So if you are someone who's trying to make the long bias argument, okay, well, if you want to go long, right, you can place your stop right there or right there. But the chances are higher that you're probably going to, encounter maybe even some stop hunts, because I don't see price going up from here. I would see at least price coming down here, maybe sweeping this area, which would be this liquidity, and then pushing back up. So either way, if you're long, the odds are kind of stacked against you is what I mean. If you really want a deep stop, then it probably have to be below this low. Okay, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, if we turn on the pivots, okay, we see an interesting picture, right? So here's the pivots right there. Okay, so perfect retest of the pivot right there, all right, around 79.20, and then we sold off. Okay, now the S1 is currently around 76.91. So if you just want to be a trader who's working off pivots, you could place some long position buys right here around 76.93, or you can take a short from where we are down to 76.93. What I don't like about this pivot is neither of these pivots, the S1 or the S2, are sweeping this low properly and then allowing it to pop back up. I was hoping that there'd be an S1 just below this area, but neither of them are. But again, in terms of pivots, it's not necessary that you have to like bounce off it almost perfectly. You'll see plenty of cases even right here. You can see the S1, right? S1 was right here around 77.26. Price went to a low of about 76.82 and then smashed through again around 76.30. So you could see that price will often smash through the pivots or the S1 levels, but it will, if it's supposed to hold that level, right, it will smash through and then pop back up above it. Okay, and then it will try to hold that level like it did right there and then keep pushing off. And then again, it encounters a pivot, gets rejected perfectly, pivot again, rejected perfectly, comes back under, and then breaks through it, right? So point is that if you want to be just a pivots trader, give it a little bit of wiggle room, okay? Don't just go to the exact dollar, because chances are you probably get screwed on it, It's not as simple as, let me just buy the pivot exactly and, sell the S1 or, R1 exactly, okay? I use this volume profile, this session volume right here, and I explained it to you guys yesterday. All right, so again, when price was above, I'm sorry, it was over here. When price was above this area, things look bullish, but when price came back under, this is really your bearish sign, right? When price kind of smashes through this high volume node, this POC, which is this red line, typically a bearish sign, okay? So even though price popped back up, you can see it pretty much bled down under through the rest of the day and then into the next session, all right? If we're starting to look at Stochastic RSI, let me see here. Let me see where the 4 hours. So yeah, 4 hours already topped off on the Stochastic RSI, right? So I'm still expecting more downside, like I said before, okay? And I told you guys the levels to watch, okay? 76.78 is a key level that we need to be holding, all right? If you start seeing a daily close under this, chances are we're probably going to go to like $7,400 or $7,300. Okay, and I'll show you why. All right, so if we start doing let me see, let's turn the 70.5, let's turn this one into 786 fib. Okay, so you can see 786 fib right there, right near $7,300, right? The daily Stochastic RSI is already bottomed, right? Doesn't mean it has to pop back up right now, but it's already bottomed. So I expect at least some more grinding in this area. The Stochastic RSI should just start bottoming out over here, okay? And so where does that kind of leave us, all right? If we turn on this right here, all right, guess where the high volume node is? Right there around 786 fib, which also matches this area, okay, right there, before we had that, excuse me, before we had that first bullish engulfing candle, consolidated, and then pushed off, right? So the 786 matches, this first bullish engulfing matches, and then the high volume node matches right there. So the next area, if that sweep of that 7630 low that I told you earlier doesn't kind of add up, right? Chances are we're probably going to go to $7,300 or so. Okay, that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. Okay, let me see. The S&P 500, obviously, and by the way, folks, the reason I keep talking about the traditional markets is because if you've noticed anything about the traditional markets, I mean, they're moving toe-to-toe with Bitcoin and crypto. Or rather, I guess Bitcoin is moving toe-to-toe with the traditional markets, okay? And, you know, obviously reason being, for one, maybe, you know, the market is seen as a high risk, or rather the crypto market, the Bitcoin asset is seen as a high risk asset. And so it's trading and selling off with the traditional assets, but just a little bit more aggressively. So professionals could be involved in the same way they're involved in the traditional markets. They're trying to just sell off their positions, maybe because they're, I don't know, preparing for like Armageddon or more of a sell-off, you know, because they just don't see the market as doing what it should be, right? Even after the rate cuts, even after a stimulus that was announced just yesterday for cruise lines and airlines from the government, right? We're still seeing stock futures right here down pre-market. I mean, the candle closed decently yesterday, right? But nothing special. It's not like it, you know, it started just ripping through short stop positions. It kind of just closed as a, I don't know, pretty decent, you know, bullish hammer, right? But again, pre-market sold off again. So that means that the confidence is just not there, all right? The confidence in the traditional markets, the fact that we just keep cutting rates, which in my opinion is terrible, given the fact that we're in the height of a bull run, we're just not doing anything to solve the underlying issues of the economy. Okay, so the point is that, you know, there are probably some structural issues in the economy, and the markets are starting to price that in. Maybe, you know, also the fact that the coronavirus has still not found a cure. We're starting to see more and more impact on the U.S. Schools closing, workplaces telling their employees to stay home and work from home, hospitals not fully prepared. You know, airlines are not seeing as many customers on their flights. So everything is being impacted, at least in the US. And I know for sure China got impacted, right? Italy's, you know, almost on a countrywide shutdown. You know, so you could see the impact is starting to hit the world. And the thing about these viruses, folks, is, and again, I'm not a virologist or anything, but but the thing is, you know, these viruses, once they do start impacting a decent subset of the population, they pretty much start moving and growing exponentially, right? And so when they start growing exponentially, what really happens is you start seeing, you know, rapid spread of the virus, and you'll start seeing rapid deaths. And that really starts freaking people out. And that starts setting the fear in the economy, in the markets. And then that fear then trickles down to pretty much every aspect of the economy, you know? And so I think what the markets are really telling you is the fear and the amount of losses potentially to be had are not priced in just yet. I think the market is still trying to figure out, is this, you know, enough of a base where we can say that, all right, maybe the coronavirus will probably impact, you know, future quarters, maybe 10-15%, or will it impact it further? And we can say that from here down, the next support is around another 16-17%, right? So it's very possible that, you know, the coronavirus scare and maybe the underlying issues of the economy are not fully priced in. And so that means we could have another 15-16% drop. And so that means for Bitcoin, I would expect the same, if not a higher percentage margin, right? So if we do that, okay, so say if we're dropping 20% versus the 17% from the stock market. So from where we are, another 20%, that kind of takes out this low right here, around $6,400, right? So that brings us to about $6,200, $6,100 or so. If we were to assume that the stock market is not priced, or I'm sorry, the stock market is not pricing in the wider impacts of the coronavirus and maybe the underlying issues that the economy could be facing, and that's based on previous support level in the December 2018 low that we had. Okay, which kind of makes sense. That's for Bitcoin. That's also that low right there that the stock market had. So it's very possible that Bitcoin kind of just keeps sliding down, folks. So don't expect kind of a short squeeze or pop up anytime soon, unless you start seeing some relief in the stock markets, unless you start seeing the stock market starting to show some health, and then also the coronavirus spread to subside, or maybe a cure or something. I mean, something's got to give, right? It seems like the economy and the people are pretty much getting hit in all directions, and especially oil too recently, when it just started to plunge, right, due to the Russian sort of war on American shale industries, right? So you could see oil dropped off. My God, I mean, it dropped off literally almost 40%, almost to a low of 43%. Obviously, it's climbed back up a little bit, but still down 31%. And as I've said before, once oil starts getting hit like this, there's probably some deeper issues that are going to start coming up in the economy, okay? Because oil workers, and oil is a big part of many, many countries, especially America, So once these fracking industries start getting hit, petroleum industries, refineries start getting hit, there's a good amount of jobs that'll be lost, okay? And that contributes to a larger unemployment rate. A larger unemployment rate contributes to people spending less, and people spending less is less GDP. Less GDP starts impacting the economy. You start impacting the economy like that, and the stock market starts, factoring that in. So you can see it's a whole cycle of shit, basically, that we're seeing. Sorry for my language, but that's really what's happening. And I really don't think most people are looking in the right places. Everyone is just, sort of hunky-dory. Hey, everything has to just keep going up forever until they get slapped in the face with the recession and they realize that their 401ks are down, 40, 50%. Stocks are down across the board, 60, 70%. We've basically entered, in a recessive environment. And then, people's precious Bitcoin is down to 6,000 or 5,000, whatever number. It's a whole impact and a cycle that Bitcoin has actually never seen. It's never seen a recessive environment. So you have no idea how it's going to do in a recessive environment. So you have to be very, very careful. Okay. But anyway, folks, I hope you guys like my take on the markets, because again, I've been trading these markets for 11 years. All right. This is, no bullshit. My job, day in and day out. I look at these markets, I trade them. Same with Facile over here. We provide these daily equity updates just so people could see exactly what's on our mind, what we're doing with our positions, how we're positioning ourselves in the market. Are we in heavy cash or in certain positions? Are we picking up options? What futures we're looking at, etc. Right? And then we start discussing that in the appropriate channels, and we start talking about exactly how we are preparing, what we should be looking for, what parts of the economy are struggling, what sectors we should be looking for. Again, none of it's financial advice, but this is us showing you how we trade for a living. If you want to learn how to trade, how to invest, this might be a once in a lifetime, once in a generation opportunity, folks. Whether this is the bottom or this comes to be a bottom, right? Sooner or later, after a recessive environment, things are going to start picking back up. It's just like, the forest fire that kind of wipes everything away, right? It's a clean slate, right? And so after, say, a few months, maybe a few years, you start seeing trees grow properly. You start seeing animal life come back. It's the same way in the stock markets, right? Once things are just a bit too, overextended, you need a fire to kind of just clean everything up. And then you start seeing, plants flourishing, life flourishing. It takes a little while, right? But you need all the other garbage to go away, all the other dirt and all the other, potential for, little fires that could come up. And then you see fresh trees and fresh soil and, new plant life, etc. Okay. So that's kind of where we are right now, in my opinion, right? We're in that forest fire phase. I don't know how big the forest fire is or if it's even started, or if we're near the end of it. But from the looks of it, it sure doesn't seem like we're anywhere near the end of it, okay? But anyway, folks, I think that's pretty much it. Another way to look at the Bitcoin market is you could start looking at Ethereum, right? Ethereum or Litecoin typically lead the way when it comes to Bitcoin's downfall. And so in this particular case, you could see Ethereum is kind of far away from this previous support level. So we can move, from here, smash into that resistance right there, and then, pull back down, okay? And that matches up with our 4-hour resistance level right here for Bitcoin, okay? That, $8,200 to $8,300 area, okay? So that'd be an ideal spot for you to either go short ETH and short BTC, or like I said, sweep of the lows down here around the 15-minute chart, right there around 8630.5. That would be a potential long. Okay, so that's how I'm positioning myself in the market. Again, my name is Amal, folks. I hope you guys enjoy my content. I hope you give me a thumbs up and come join the Cryptosomniac Advantage community, okay? I do want to show you that we actually closed one of our short trades from 8200s just a few days back that we had opened, okay? So as you can see, price was over here right around 8200s. I think I got in a little bit higher, 8235, 8240. And then, we started closing some of our position just a day or two ago, right around, what was it, 77.66 right there. As you can see, when we saw that big down candle. And then I think just last night, I closed the rest of my position. Okay, so it's a good, 12, 13% profit. I was only going 3x leverage. Okay, so, pretty healthy profit, right? And all you can do in these markets, folks, is try to catch the best, technical swing trade, because once the market starts moving, it's very hard to sort of scalp. Okay, more than likely you're going to get chopped up, especially when the market is ranging like this. Do not trade this. I'm telling you, for the most part, most people are not good enough to trade this market when it's choppy like this. You're going to get destroyed. That's a fact. Okay, you're not faster than the bots. You don't have more money or experience than the bots and the algos that the professionals have built. So that's their job. Their job is literally to go stop hunting, to destroy as many positions as they can in up and down movements, and then resume the direction of the market. So all we can hope for is the larger time frames that are showing us confirmation of the direction, whether it's up or down. All right. That's it, folks. Again, come join Cryptosomniac Advantage, or click the Discord link below in this YouTube description, and then you can join the free side. Okay, that is it. Take care and have a good rest of your Wednesday.